Hey everyone, I'm Baskin Tessoyan, founder of Agentic Insights. I want to introduce you to version 1.1 of the code-based context specification today. This isn't just a new tool, it is a convention that you can use to empower the latest state-of-the-art coding agents, such as one that I will demonstrate later, give them full context of the project from the beginning. I will also explore the CLI tool to help you get started with this specification. Why code-based context specification? A couple years ago, when I first started using coding assistants, it was Copilot. It would do completion, but it would only work in one file. Lately, over the last few months, the state of the art is now multi-file edits for more agentic flows in coding assistants. Once I started using these more agentic tools, I started going to my chat window in my editor and starting the conversation because I would have multiple conversations. So there's a context window that you have to manage while you're coding. If you manage it correctly, you get really good results. If you don't, you will be putting too much information in it that will confuse the model, or not enough information in it where it just doesn't have enough context. As I was learning this, going through the process again and again, I was clearing the context window, starting over, new chat, get something done, new chat, get something done. The pattern became that at the very beginning of the chat, I would request that the model ingest the readme.md file in order to better understand the project and its architecture before it started coding. I felt like it was like a prompt, right? README acting as a system prompt. Once this pattern became repetitive, I started thinking, what is the next logical step here? What's the solution? If this is the state of the art, and this is how we're going to be working with these coding agents, less in a code completion manner, but more in a manager, director, architect telling the developer what to do. We need, as architects, a way to hand the developers or these AI coding assistants the instructions for the repository. So that's a quick overview. I'm here to announce version 1.1 of the specification and several other new things. There's the new specification. There's also this new website, codebasedcontext.org. This is where specification will be housed. Here's the link to it up here. Additionally, in the specification, there's a breaking change I want to go over. I got a lot of feedback on version 1.0, and version 1.1 changes things. Additionally, there's a new tool to help get you started, and I'll go over that after I go over the major breaking change and some of the other information. In the previous version, the .context.md was at the root of the project. The .context docs was also at the root of the project, meaning these are important files at the root. In order to allow for more context and to allow for future expansion without cluttering the root of the project, the new specification defines the .context directory, and inside it is index.md, analogous to index.html at the root of a web server. Docs.md is where the documentation information is, and the specification spells that out separately to be a library or reference to other either websites, articles, or internal documentation specific to this repository. And the diagrams is a prescriptive place to put architectural diagrams, sequence diagrams, flow diagrams, ER diagrams, class diagrams that would help the AI coding agents discern different aspects of the project. .context_ignore stays at the root of the project. It is basically similar to .getIgnore, except for the purpose of what not to put into the context window. A few examples of things that you might want to put into a context file would be things that are of tribal knowledge. Here's an example of something that you might want to put into there. In this scenario, there's a older project that you're adopting, that you're trying to allow the AI coding agent and the assistants to understand. There's often historical context that needs to be explained, and that's not something that you are going to remember to put at the beginning of every prompt. You can have agents that are instructed to use this context so that information such as this. For example, there was a large change in this code base that still may leave some artifacts here and there that refer to an old system. So this is a way to explain that to the AI coding agent. Obviously, the best way to do that is to change all that code and make that happen. But perhaps for historical reasons, logistical resource reasons, perhaps there's 10 issues that haven't been worked on that are all about renaming queues to topics. In this case, a queue system is switched over to Kafka so that the same construct architecturally is now a topic rather than a queue. And that's the example that's here. Let's get to how to use this. If you go to the Codebase Context Specification website, you'll see that the quick start command is right here. You can just copy it. Let's say you have a demo project such as this, and you don't have any Codebase context in it. Just pop that command in and you have at least a starting point. And here is where you would put that information. This is the system prompt for the AI coding agent that you can use at the beginning of every conversation. For example, here I have this as the initial custom instructions for this particular coding agent called Klein. Before you start a task, if a context directory exists, read it for an architectural overview in project context starting at index.md. This is just one of the ways that you can use the .context system. I am working with tool vendors to have it adopted. So take a look at the tools section of the website to see how to use it with your tool. Or if you're a tool vendor, you can claim it and help me help you get to a point where this is something that the tool can incorporate to get better results for your users. If you need any further information, feel free to contact me. The best way to reach me is via LinkedIn or through my website. Check below for all the links. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.